How many art classes have you attended that have involved the same instruction? Here's a photo, here's an object, here's a person. Copy it. But why? Why would we want to copy something? What does it actually achieve? At the time, that question probably never entered your head. Like everyone else in the class, you were probably too busy thinking about how to do it, or getting stuck in, rather than wondering why you were doing it. But it turns out copying has far more benefits than most people realise. Here are 5. First, repetition gives us a deep understanding of form. When we sketch something again and again, we begin to understand its structure, its proportions, its curves, and angles. Eventually, we know it well enough that we can draw it from imagination. That's how many great illustrators trained. Observe carefully, then redraw from memory. Copying isn't mindless, it's training your visual memory. Second, nature handles composition for us. Natural objects are often more visually pleasing than man-made ones. Why? Because nature has already arranged the shapes, balanced the tones, chosen the colour palette. The composition is already there. We just have to notice it. When was the last time you felt inspired to draw a plastic toy instead of a face, a leaf, or a landscape? If you find something in nature visually appealing, chances are someone else will too. Third, drawing what's around us helps us feel connected to our surroundings. When we draw something, we remember it differently than we do from a photograph. We're not just recording what it looks like, we're stopping to really notice it and take in all the details. And it deepens our understanding of nature. After all, who decided that artists and scientists are interested in different things? Both are trying to observe, both are trying to understand. Copying what's around us is simply one way of doing that. Fourth, copying retrains the brain. Our brains don't always show us what's actually there. They show us what we expect to see. For example, most people assume the eyes sit near the top of the head, but they're actually halfway down. Copying forces us to slow down, to measure, to really look, and that changes more than just our drawing. It changes how we see the world. And finally, copying is deeply human. It's how we learn. As children, we copy constantly. Speech, movement, behaviour. But we don't stop as adults. Put a group of people in a social situation, like serving the buffet food at a party, and everyone waits to see if someone else is going to approach the table. Then they copy. It's natural. So when we sit down to make marks on a page, it's perfectly natural to begin by copying something around us. And it's perfectly natural to be impressed when someone copies beautifully. But just as children eventually develop their own voice, artists do too. You may find that you become less interested in producing exact replicas of photos and more excited by transforming them, by exaggerating, distorting, interpreting, by turning them into something that feels like yours. So copying may be where we begin, but it doesn't have to be where we stay. Maybe it's a stage, a foundation, a training ground. Does every artist move through that process, or do some find their voice differently? Either way, copying isn't lesser, it's learning. And if you're curious to see more about how this process unfolds in some of the artwork shown in this video, from reference image to finished painting, you can visit the link in the description below, where the creation process behind many of the pieces is shared. You'll be able to see how they begin, how they change, and what they eventually become. And if something resonates with you, you'll find details of how to purchase your own originals or prints.